Like, you have to have this understanding. People that are successful, they don't see the world different. They just see the world for what it is. Seeing the world different is, hey, I'm hearing this, but it's not what's actually being said. They're telling you exactly what happens in the real world of business. Hey, this is what it is. This is what it's not. If you can't do this, I'll find somebody else who can. But the levels of success, like I just said, sound exactly the same. Exactly the same. Everybody has that one friend, at least, that goes, hey man, I'm going to start this business. And then everybody goes, he's not going to be able to do that. Everybody has that one friend. And so that one friend goes and does it. And then it turns into something that they never thought it would turn into. They had an opportunity to jump on board and they wouldn't because it's that friend. And now that friend is living way better off than you ever thought that guy ever deserved to be or would be, because you wouldn't take a shot on him when he took a shot on himself. There's a conversation that I just had recently where I told a guy that I know, I said, hey, look, listen, like I know everybody goes through things and I love all my bros and the guys I grew up with, and 100%, like I'll rock out behind any one of them. But everybody, as much as I love them, ain't in the spot that I'm at, and it bothers me. They're not where I'm at. And there's a few who might be in a better spot, but the majority, they're not. But I had this conversation and I tell people, I go, hey, if everybody just took their money and put it together, group economics, think about where we'd be. Think about where we would be. We would be on this camera. We would be out here doing this. We would be doing this, right? The thing about being successful is, like, again, there's levels, and the level for me isn't necessarily to win by myself. But if I don't have ultimate control over you, then I gotta just take care of me. And it's a very sad thing. It's a very sad thing. But lower level from that, I talk to some people who have their own businesses, some of my friends and everything like that. And they may not be making 100,000 or a couple 100,000 a year, but they're working towards that. And when I talk to them, their conversation with me is, hey, look, listen, success for me is being able to take care of my family, being able to put some money away to get to that next level. Now, at the end of this, there's a common theme in every single place of success, right? My friends that I'm referring to who have their own businesses or they have their own whatever they got going on, it's always, the speak is about the money. And at a certain place in your world, it is about money at a certain place. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, don't get me wrong, nobody wants to do nothing for free, especially for business. Nobody wants to do anything for the bare minimum and lives in poverty still and has to kill themselves just to make ends meet. Nobody wants to do all that. Nobody wants to do all that. So that there is no judgment nowhere, because I've been at almost all these places in life, And I hear that, and the success for them is just being able to like make it, because they're young entrepreneurs and they understand like, hey, there's days where business is booming and there's days where we ain't got nothing going on and I still got bills to pay. We still got to pay taxes. There's still stuff that has to get taken care of. So I understand that, and I commend that, because it takes a real individual with belief to go, you know what? I'm not going to jump on this bandwagon. I'm going to start my own bandwagon. I'm going to build this thing from scratch, and I'm going to ride this wave until I can figure out where it's supposed to go. And sometimes by the time a lot of these people find out where it's supposed to go, they're in debt. They've had to let some things go. They've had to sacrifice a lot more than just dignity to get to where this thing may ultimately take them if they stay on the right path. But the conviction, the belief in themselves is what keeps them going. The belief in themselves and the belief of the people that are around them and the service that they may provide or the people that they may help along the way doesn't have a price tag. So they'll continue to push themselves as long as they possibly can. Again, success looks different to everybody. There's other people around me that I have in my circle that are like, hey, like they just happy being able to wake up the next day. I understand that. I feel that. I feel it. Trust me, I feel it. But at the same time, you have to meet people where they are. While I feel it and I think you may be meant for more, success for you may be able to just put a couple $100 in your pocket and just rock out. And if that's the case, hey, I commend that too. It's not easy these days to just go out and make money. There's money everywhere, but that don't mean that people are just giving it away. You know, so for you to have a skill set to be able to go make you some money and be able to just kind of be content where you're at, hey, that's fine. There's no problem with that. Again, there's levels of success. Levels of success. That conversation that you have with those people isn't the same kind of conversation you want to hear from these guys at the top. That's not to say it's better or worse. You just have to understand how to respond to the conversation accordingly. Right? Because the conversation that I may have with this person who's up and coming and trying to figure it out, or I may want to have with this person, may not come across the same as if a millionaire is having it. But what is it all based on? Success. It's all based on success. It's all based on the idea that people see a thing, they learn a thing, and they attach a monetary amount to it. A lot of times what happens is you'll look at a guy and see he's driving a Bentley and go, hey, that guy's successful. He might be renting that car. He might dress the part. Don't mean that he got money. It don't mean that he's quote unquote successful, right? What if, you know, for somebody who's grown up and lost parents, well, what if he get $1 million and that $1 million don't matter because he just rather have his parents back? He may not find himself successful because he wasn't able to keep his parents around. His parents divorced and he wants his parents together. It's not like having your parents together. What if he's forever unsuccessful in his eyes based on that? The world's going to tell you, hey, that guy's $1 million. He might be the top 5% of the world, or at least in the United States, makes $1 million a year. That may not mean nothing to him. So it's all about perspective. It's all relative. It's all about understanding what it is that you want and what you see for yourself. Everybody is capable of being successful on some level. Everybody has a basic understanding of business. Everybody. If you ever balanced a checkbook, if you've ever done taxes, your own taxes, if you've ever sat and interviewed people or hired and fired people, if you've ever, filled out business paperwork, applications, those are all levels and layers of business. You can understand business. It's not that you can't. It's just that some people take that understanding and they push it and they push it and they push it and they push it and they push it. That's the only difference. These people, some of these millionaires I've talked to, and these guys that make a couple $100,000 a year, they talk just like me. Actually, 2 of them talk worse than me. These aren't like rogue scholars. These guys don't have Harvard degrees. They're not, these guys are guys that literally came from probably some of the same spaces that we come from, and they've allowed themselves to expand their need for information. They've expanded their need for information. They go to people and they ask questions and they get in rooms where they're able to talk to people. The same thing I did. The room that I was in where I talked to these people wasn't a free ticket. I paid to get in this room. It lucked out that I was able to have conversations with these people, but what if I didn't? I would have still been able to still see the same thing sitting across the room than if I talked to them in person. Ultimately, the job was done regardless. Whether I sat and talked to them in person, face to face for 2 hours, or I sat in a room and listened to them talk for 2 hours, the same job got accomplished. What level of success are you? What level of success are you trying to strive to? What level of understanding in business and in life are you trying to get to in order for you to get to the next level? More importantly, you're outside, y'all. More importantly, what is the next level? What is your next level? Where's your next pit stop on your road to success? You have to figure that out. Whether you write that down, a dream board, whatever it is that you got to do, like, there are levels to this. There are levels. Everybody won't hit the lotto tomorrow. Everybody won't. And 9 times out of 10, the guy that hits the lotto tomorrow, he's not going to hit all his friends off and his family off and make sure they all straight too. He gonna buy mom a house, he gonna buy dad a house probably, and get some cars, and he gonna chill. He gonna get low somewhere and you ain't gonna see him again. So that means that you gotta be available for your own success. You gotta show up for that. You got to put your best foot forward. You got to get in the rooms and talk to people and ask questions, even if it might cost you some money to get the insight. Don't ever be afraid to get the insight. I would much rather somebody tell me that I'm doing something wrong if I know that's where they're at is where I'm trying to get to, where I want to get to, I'm going to get to, right? Like, I would much rather hear that from them than hear that from somebody who I can't get $10 from, you know what I'm saying, to get some gas in the car to make it to work. But again, it's all relative. Everything that I'm saying is all relative. Every bit of advice you're ever going to get is all relative. It's all going to be how you take it, how you perceive it, and how you apply that going forward. I just thought that for me, I thought it's very important for us to just talk about the levels of success. The things that all these levels of success have in common is that everybody who sees it pushes a monetary amount onto it. Everybody. When we're out and we see a famous person, we go, man, that guy's got money. That don't make him successful to him. That don't make him successful. That only makes him successful to us, people who may not be successful yet. And if we're looking at that and we're grading our success against people who may have had a leg up, who may have had help along the way, who may have had these things in their favor, we're never going to be successful. We're never going to be successful. You can't allow somebody else's level of success to demean your ideas and your ability to become successful. Because successful is what? Is relative. Successful to you might not be $1 million a year. Successful to you, if you're coming from the trenches right now, if you're coming from the hood right now, shout out to everybody that I know I got love for 100%. Hope everybody win. But if for you might making $200,000 a year might be successful. That might be successful. For a lot of people that I know, if you can make $200,000 a year, that's successful. Now, you can still do a lot of the same things, not as grandiose, but you still have a level of access at that number for you to be completely comfortable and for you to be able to kind of kick back and feel like that you've made it and you deserve that. And if that's what you want, I hope you have that 100%. 100%. But there are also people out there who are in love with the thing that they're doing. And because they're in love with what they're doing, they're going to make more money just off default. Just by waking up and doing the thing that they want to do, they're going to become uberly successful and more and more and more successful. More and more successful. It's dinosaurs out here, y'all. You hear them? Wow, right? I've also said before, hey, like, you have to understand. You have to have this understanding. You have to have this understanding. These people that I've talked to that are millionaires, they are involved in an industry and they're doing a job that they would do for free. So whether they're making $1 million or $10,000 a year or a month, they were still doing this thing. And I've said before, hey, find you something that you would do for free and figure out how to make money off of it. Find something that you would do for free and find out how to make money off of it. Because there is a way. There's always a way. With the way technology's going, internet's going, all these things are happening, there's a way to monetize and make money off of whatever it is that you're doing and become your own boss and write your own ticket along the way. Don't allow anybody else to sway you from that decision. I know a lot of people around me, immediately around me, that have had thoughts and ideas that were, in my opinion, home run ideas. They never followed them through because they're listening to the guy down the street that lives with his mom still. The two don't equate. The two don't equate. And as much as I want everybody to win, I understand everybody's not going to. As much as I want to celebrate with everybody that I've ever seen lose, I got to understand that along the way, there's just going to be some empty seats at the table. What's success for you? What is success for you? What is it? What is it? You know, what is it? What's the obstacle that's holding you back from being successful? What's the thought process? What's the demon that's in your closet, bro? That's allowing you to spin your own wheels and never get anywhere. Once you understand that and you conquer that, once you get that fear out the way, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. It is the limit. It will continue to be the limit. The world is your oyster. Get around people with minds that you want to be like. Don't worry about what your friends say. Don't worry about them saying that you square. Don't worry about them calling you soft. Look, bro, that shit don't matter. It don't matter. Stop worrying about what people got to say and go be successful. Go get you some money. Nipsey Hussle once said in an interview, and I'll never forget it. The reporter or the people asked him, the interview people asked him, hey, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to people that may be in a messed up position right now? He gave the realest answer I've ever heard. And it's very simple. And he's paused for a second. He looked at the lady that was interviewing him and he said, my advice is to get you some money. It'll make you feel different. Go get you some money. It'll make you feel different. And with that said, Humble Talk Podcast, appreciate everybody for showing up, showing out. Hey, it's all love on this end. Hey, catch me when you catch me. Hey, if y'all rocking with me, I'm rocking with y'all, man. Let's have some fun. To the next one. Peace.